The bustling Los Angeles International Airport was packed with travelers rushing to their gates, flight attendants preparing for departures, and airport workers directing foot traffic. Among the sea of passengers, a tall figure in a casual hoodie and jeans walked purposefully toward the first-class boarding gate. Ben Affleck, despite his fame, had always preferred traveling with as little fuss as possible. He had taken countless flights over the years, but today felt different. He was exhausted after weeks of back-to-back meetings, press tours, and filming commitments. As he adjusted the strap of his carry-on bag, he glanced to his left and noticed an elderly man making his way toward the counter. Clint Eastwood. Even at 94, the legendary actor and director carried himself with the same quiet confidence that had made him an icon. His brown leather jacket and fedora gave him a classic, timeless look. However, Ben noticed the slight stiffness in Clint's movements, the way he shifted his weight with every step. Subtle signs of age catching up with the legend. The gate agent smiled at Clint as he handed over his boarding pass. "Mr. Eastwood, I'm so sorry," she said politely, "but your seat is in economy. We tried to upgrade you, but first class is fully booked." A flicker of disappointment crossed Clint's face, but he simply nodded. "No problem. I'll take my seat." Ben didn't hesitate. "Wait, I'll switch seats with him," he said, stepping forward. The gate agent and a few nearby passengers turned their heads in surprise. "Mr. Affleck, are you sure?" the agent asked. "Absolutely," Ben said, smiling at Clint. "He's a legend. He should be up front." Clint studied Ben for a moment, his piercing blue eyes filled with gratitude and curiosity. "That's mighty generous of you, kid." "I insist." A few passengers whispered among themselves, and even the flight attendants looked touched by the gesture. One of them quickly adjusted the seating arrangement, and Clint was escorted to Ben's first-class seat while Ben made his way to economy. As he settled into his new seat near the back of the plane, Ben thought nothing of it. He had simply done what felt right. But what happened next was something he never expected. An hour into the flight, as Ben scrolled through a script on his tablet, a flight attendant approached him. "Mr. Affleck, Mr. Eastwood asked me to give you this." She handed him a small folded note. Ben unfolded it and read the simple yet powerful words written in Eastwood's unmistakable handwriting. "Respect is earned. You just earned mine." Ben smiled. Coming from Clint Eastwood, those words carried weight. But that wasn't all. Tucked inside the note was a handwritten invitation to a private dinner at Clint's ranch. He glanced toward first class. Clint gave him a subtle nod from his seat, tipping his hat ever so slightly. What started as a simple act of kindness had turned into an unforgettable moment, one that Ben Affleck would cherish forever. A few weeks later, Ben found himself driving up a long, winding road in Carmel, California, where Clint Eastwood's famous ranch was located. The invitation had been clear. "Come by the ranch. I've got a story to tell you." Ben wasn't sure what to expect. Was it just a thank you dinner, or was there something more to it? As he pulled up to the rustic yet elegant ranch, he saw Clint standing on the porch waiting. "Glad you made it," Clint said, extending a hand. "Come on in." The evening was filled with stories of Hollywood's golden era, tales of perseverance and unexpected wisdom from a man who had seen and done it all. But just when Ben thought the night was winding down, Clint stood up and motioned for him to follow. "I want to show you something." Ben followed Clint outside to a barn that looked like it had been there for decades. Inside, Clint pulled back a tarp, revealing a vintage 1960s Mustang, its paint gleaming under the dim barn lights. "This car was given to me by an old friend who taught me the importance of passing kindness forward," Clint said, "and tonight I want to pass that lesson on to you." Ben was speechless. "Wait, are you giving me this car?" Clint smirked. "Consider it a token of appreciation and a reminder kindness always comes back around." Ben ran his hand over the Mustang's hood, still struggling to find words. What had started as a simple seat swap on a flight had turned into a life lesson, a friendship, and an unforgettable gesture of gratitude. And as Ben drove away that night, he knew one thing for certain. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness lead to the most unexpected and meaningful moments in life. Ben, deeply moved by Clint's generosity, decided to pay the kindness forward. He used the Mustang not just as a treasured keepsake, but as a symbol of goodwill. Over the years, he found himself mentoring young filmmakers, financing indie projects, and even performing small acts of kindness in his everyday life, all inspired by that single moment with Clint. The story of his encounter with Clint Eastwood spread in Hollywood, becoming a tale of inspiration. Years later, when Ben spoke about the incident in interviews, he always emphasized one thing: kindness is the most valuable currency in life. Clint Eastwood taught me that. And so the cycle continued, proving that one good deed could ripple through generations, changing lives in ways no one could predict.